Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Sheldon Bartlett Rumor, and this is it. Welcome back to This Is It TV. So excited to have you guys back. It's Tuesday. I hope you guys are doing well and hanging on in there. I've already done a series of different interviews this morning. I've been rocking and rolling. Sydney, Rachel is at school. Chasey's at daycare. We are moving things along. We're doing our best to get ourselves back to where it is that we were before this whole COVID kind of scenario had hit us all pretty hard. The adjustments have been severe and real, but everybody's still here doing their thing. So I hope you guys are hanging on in there as well. If you do swing by, please don't forget to say hello. I think that there's, nothing more important. Good morning, Carol, than being seen and being heard. So I would love for you guys to swing by and tell me that you see me and tell me that you hear me. And I will do the same for all of you. Today is us really focusing on the same kind of scenarios as we had done before. Good morning, Lisa. We had talked about this early in COVID or early in quarantine. For those of you that don't know my BQ versus AQ kind of philosophy, my goal is to be better AQ than I was BQ, better before quarantine. Better after quarantine than I was before quarantine. And I've worked very, very hard over the course of the past 6 months in order to make that a reality, knowing that the beginning of this whole entire thing, I was not well. I was not okay. I was healthy, but mentally I was very concerned about where this was all going and how I was going to participate in it and what my role looked like in it and what I looked like in it. I didn't know what my business was going to look like. I didn't know how I was going to manage, having Sydney homeschooled. I didn't know how it was going to be okay for Chris's job, which is my husband, for myself, what it really looked like. Chase is in the formative years of his situation. And, was he saying his S's properly? I'm one of those moms. I'm like, I don't think he says S right. Kind of scenario. I was measuring all of those things. And I learned and continue to learn the ability to let things go. Carrying things, right? We've talked about, carrying things that are heavy, but it's not even about those heavy things. It's not even about big conflicts and big resolutions. I'm not even talking about the larger scale things that we think about when we think about our business, whether or not we're going to pivot or downsize or increase, or I'm not talking about all that heavy stuff that requires meetings and conference calls and advisory boards. I'm not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about the small minutia of our lives, the tiny things, right? Sydney and I were today, whether or not she's 9, so she's not mad at me about talking about her on these lives, at least as of yet, the poor thing. But we were arguing about her outfit this morning, and we were talking about she wanted to wear something. And I'm a lunatic. And listen, my parents have always worked really hard, and we have just come from what my mother likes to call a civilized space. And so you dress accordingly. You dress it as a civilized human being. You get dressed. You iron your clothes for school. We used to iron our clothes the night before, lay them out. My mother was a regimented woman. She called it rumpled. You wouldn't look rumpled at school. You can't, everything's ironed. Everything's tucked in when it's supposed to be tucked in. Shoes are clean and shined. And there was a representation of yourself. And I forget how these things manifest themselves in my adulthood and now as a mother. I will not have it. I will not have it. I will not have her look. She came down. She wants to dress herself. And I don't know how many of you have gone through this with your young people, that transition before, you were able to dress them and put out what it is that you wanted them to wear. Sydney always had a bow that matched directly with all the outfits we had. We gave the bow. We got rid of the bows. Hello. How are you, Luke? And so she would come down. She came down and got dressed. And I was like, we're not having this. This looks like your mother has no objectives. This looks like your mother has no goals. This looks like you just running the streets. I'm not having it, right? And I'm all for self-expression, and I'm all for her looking the way that she wants to. No. We're going to go upstairs and we're going to find something. That's something that I was not able to let go. I'm not letting that go. Sometimes when she wants to dress herself for her Zooms at home, no problem. But if we're going out into the street, no, we're not doing that. I'm not going to let that go. There are other things. For chicken nuggets for dinner, I'm going to let that go. Pancakes, sometimes when we do breakfast in the evening, I'm going to let that go. There's certain things that I'm going to put down and let go. And those things that I have let go, right, have freed me in so many ways. I'm not stressing about tiny little things. There are things that mean something to me that my husband might say, let her wear what she wants. I'm like, that isn't something that I'm going to let go. That is nothing that I'm going to let go, right? Exactly. You look at your mother doesn't have seriously. I'm like, what is happening? Nicole, you hear me. I was like, no. Your mom's got goals. We're not doing that. We're not looking like we are crazy. I said, these are home clothes. I don't know how many of you have the difference between, I'm sure you do, don't you? The difference between home clothes and out clothes. You have the difference. Some of us have the difference between church clothes, home clothes, out clothes, school clothes. I'm a public school girl. You know, in that way, like she is beginning to define and understand the difference between home clothes and out clothes. And I know it's a blurry space right now because everything's home clothes, but no. So that is one thing I decided that I wasn't going to let go. But there are other things in my life that I have decided that I am going to be free of. I'm not worried about, right? I'm not worried about if everything, again, like I've told you before, the today list versus the to-do list, everything gets done on this master to-do list where I torture myself. And when I'm feeling as if I'm not accomplished, that can't happen. What needs to happen is that I need to prioritize the things that actually mean things to me. And oftentimes when we talk about this, oftentimes when we are figuring out what it is that we want in life, we're talking about these grandiose big things. That's not what I'm talking about today. I'm talking about the little things. Little tiny things, right? Another one of my things that I'm not very, very good at, I do a lot of wash. Like I wash clothes constantly. Putting away clothes, not necessarily the easiest for Sheldon. Right? I can do a lot of laundry. Laundry is no problem. Putting away the laundry, that's a whole other thing, right? And for me, it drives me crazy to walk into my closet and have stuff piled up. Walk into my closet and have stuff not make sense. But I'm going to do that after my meetings today. I'm going to do that after my interviews today because I got to let that go. Because there's certain things that I can't be carrying around. These little tiny things will eat at you in a way as if they are paying mortgages. Right? Are you weighing, hello, Crystal, are you weighing the same? Right? Is it the same amount? Are you putting the same amount of energy and stress in whether you're putting away folded clothes versus whether or not you are sending that MailChimp or reaching your goals for your business? It can't be the same amount of energy. It can't be the same amount of angst and stress that you are given whether or not you gave your child chicken nuggets or whether or not you made a 3-course meal. It cannot be equated to whether or not you're paying those bills or reaching those goals. You have to start letting things go. One evening of breakfast for dinner ain't gonna throw the whole world off, right? And it's about prioritizing. I'm more interested in prioritizing the meals in which I give my children than I am putting away the laundry. I'm more interested in prioritizing the fact that my daughter needs to look like her parents are employed versus, right, other parts and aspects of my life. It's about what makes sense to you, but I need you to let go of things that aren't serving you, things that don't make a huge, gigantic difference. I carried everything. Whether it was a small thing for the laundry or the large investment opportunity or whatever it is that I was doing, carried the same weight in the bag, carried the same heavy. Good morning, Karen. Carried the same weight. How? How is that possible? How is that possible? Whether or not the permission slip was signed as well as my client meeting both carried so much stress. So much stress. And it can't. There's no room in that for joy. There's no room in that for success. There's no room. You are walking around pent up, carrying all these things, these irrelevant things. Things that aren't going to matter to anyone, things that are not the definition of who you are or the definition of even your circumstances. We still carrying them. The load is heavy. Make room for things that matter because we have real issues, right? And when I think about those things, good morning, Barbara, good morning, Orinthia. When I think about those things, I'm like, this cannot be the same equated stress. This can't. This meal cannot be the same equated stress on whether or not I'm going to pay a bill, or whether or not I'm going to launch this platform, or whether or not I'm going to take this course, or whether or not I'm going to sell this course. It cannot be the same weight. The problem is that we equate all of our stresses in the same weight. And I need us to let go of the things that don't weigh as much. I need us to really look and prioritize on the things that are weighing us down and let go of the small things that mean nothing. They mean nothing. In the scheme of things, in the scheme of your day, needless to say, your life, the amount of time that we have carried really fruitless worries that have to do with what we think even about ourselves, or all of those things. I prioritize what my child is wearing, what my 9-year-old child is wearing out into the world. That is part of my priority. I have given away and let go of putting away my clothes until this evening. I'm okay with that. It can't be the same stress. It can't be working myself up into a tizzy, into the point in which I'm not able to move forward because what I am carrying is so heavy. What is in the bag? What are you carrying right now that you can simply let go of, put away, throw away? What are you carrying? It cannot be the same weight. It can't be the same weight. You paying your mortgage cannot be the same weight as whether or not your kids eat chicken nuggets. It can't be the same stress. It's not even in the same world, in the same categories, but we carry it the same. We carry it the same. And it's not okay because it's exhausting. These are things in which we can control, right? Mortgage, it ain't going nowhere, right? We talked about yesterday, the mountain that ain't going nowhere. So focusing on that, it becomes a thing. Good morning, Renee. So what can we let go of? Renee, Orinthia, Barbara, Crystal, what can we let go of? The little things that we don't necessarily need. Lisa, Nicole, Luke, what can we let go of that we are carrying that is unnecessary, that we cannot change based on how many hours we are up at night, based on the way in which we think about it or overthink about it? What are the things that we can let go of? Because when we begin to let go of those smaller things, because we all got real problems, we all got real issues, but we are taking up space with things that don't matter. We are taking up space with things that are irrelevant and not even focusing on the real issues that we have at hand. Because we are worried about putting away laundry, or we are worried about things that are completely irrelevant in that space. Now it's up to you to prioritize them. You may say, Sydney Rachel can wear whatever she wants to school. I don't live that life. That ain't my story. But you may not necessarily prioritize that, and that's okay, right? That's okay. But then it frees me, right? Like I occupy my space with what Sydney Rachel's wearing to hybrid scenarios, no problem. My other space is going to be occupied with things that really, really matter. The laundry folding, putting away ain't in the priority for me today on this Tuesday. It is about letting go of the things in which you cannot control. Letting go of the things that do not matter to you. And you get to determine that. So often when we negotiate those priorities, we start thinking about other people. We start thinking about what Sydney wants to wear, right? Or what the other situation is, or how it's going to affect other people. I'm not asking you to invite anybody else to this meeting. This is a meeting for you, yourself, to be able to figure out what matters to you, what you need to take care of today versus what you can let go of. And then utilize that in order to focus on things that really matter, things that really need your energy. Things that really need your energy. Chicken nuggets it is. I am not worried about it, right? Make a side of mashed potatoes. Whatever it is, put in some french fries in an air fryer. I don't know anybody out there, I'm digressing today, who does not have an air fryer. Every house should come with an air fryer. Every house. It is the most amazing thing in the world. And the dinners are no longer an issue if you have an air fryer. But dinners are no longer a priority for me. I'm not stressing about that. Everybody's going to eat. Everybody's going to be well, right? I'd rather allocate that time to make sure that Sydney Rachel looks like she makes sense. So you get to pick, but it can't be a situation. It cannot be a situation where your priorities are set by others, and that it is a situation where you are diving in and holding on to all of these things. Holding on to all of these things. Lisa, you need an air fryer. We're not talking about it again. You need to get yourself an air fryer. That should have been on your list for your birthday. We'll talk about it later. But I need you guys to hold on to things. I think you need you guys to let go of things. Let go. Little things. Because we all have real issues and real problems and real things. And sometimes we utilize the smaller things as distractions from the larger things that we should be dealing with. We're overwhelmed and want to have conversations about nonsense over and over again about things in which we should have let go or things that don't matter anymore. We need to let go of those tiny things. We need to let go of things that do not serve us, let go of things that are occupying space in your life where you could be prioritizing other things. That's what I need you to do today. That is today's morning message. It's about letting go of the small things that are taking over your mind space. You are literally carrying them. And if you were to put them down, you would be easily able to maneuver and navigate your life. So we're going to let those things go. We're going to let them slide because they're not a priority and they don't define you. And I feel like when doing so, you will find your voice. And when doing so, you will no longer whisper your wishes. And when doing so, you, my friends, you will scream your dream. That's the goal. The goal is to come to you each and every morning to provide a little bit of a morning message, to give you some inspiration so you can stay motivated each and every day. And I visit you every day at 11 o'clock Eastern. If you think that there are people in your world that need this, people in your world that need to hear this, please share it with them. I'd love for them to join us each and every day. And if you need more inspiration or more information on all the things that we've got going on, don't forget to log on to thisisItTV.com and follow, fan, and like us at thisisItTV. Again, my goal is for you to find your voice, no longer whisper your wishes, and for all of you to scream your dream. I'm Sheldon Bartlett-Rumor, and this is it. I'll see you all tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Take care.